anything like this at your holiday table, but yeah, it happens, right? And they've made entire movies out of it. So joining us this morning to talk a little bit about conflict resolution at the holiday table is Steven Dinkin. He is the president of the National Conflict Resolution Center, and he is joining us now to talk about this. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So you saw that little thing.
Yes.
You said that looks like your house.
Absolutely. My wife always says, why don't you take your skills home to our house?
Oh, I see. Yeah. So do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
Well, it's not easy sometimes. So let's talk about this. First of all, what is the National Conflict Resolution Center?
So we're an organization that focuses on providing mediation to a whole range of different types of disputes, and we also conduct training. So we bring the mediation skills into the public at the university level, in companies, in organizations, in the community. Wherever there's conflict, we need to find solutions.
All right, so you guys have been busy, and I asked you if you know, your phones have been ringing off the hook. Obviously, this presidential race has brought a lot of issues up to the top, front and center. What's been going on with you? The phone's been ringing?
Well, the phone's been ringing. I mean, there's always conflict in all parts of society, but in the post-election era, what's happened is that it's just heightened the tensions. So discussions have just been amped up, and we see it in the media, we see it in communities. So we're getting a lot of calls.
It's very emotional.
It's very emotional. People don't really know how to address it. And I think what's happening is people are starting to avoid the discussion. And I think that's really an issue for our society, because I think having a discussion around very challenging issues is critical for the growth and to find solutions. So let's not avoid the issue. Let's try to address it, but in a respectful way.
But how do you do that? And as you said, this is a very emotional issue. You know, kind of half of our country, you know, still shaking their head. The other half is cool with it and looking forward. But as you're at the table and you start talking about these issues, it's hard not to get emotional for a lot of people.
Well, I think it's okay to be emotional. At the National Conflict Resolution Center, we've developed a training called the Art of Inclusive Communication, and we teach skills of how to be respectful, how to have a respectful dialogue. So there's one tool that we teach is to be non-reactive. So that if you do sense that emotion, so someone comes at you with a very challenging issue, so take a moment and be non-reactive. Take a step back, because when your emotion is at its height, your rationality is at its lowest point.
Yeah.
So you don't want to react when you have that emotional sense, and people are expecting you to push back. So if you just take a step aside, then you're in control of the discussion. The other person's off balance. So the first thing we teach is to not react. Take a deep breath. Think about what you want to say before you state your opinion.
It's kind of like being angry and writing that email and then looking at the email and saying delete.
Yeah, don't send it. Just take a moment. Think about it. Before you make your.
So that is a great tip. What are some other tips? And you know, I mean, the truth is that probably there is a lot of baiting going on as well.
Well, one other tip that we state is that when someone states their perspective, rather than just thinking about your own perspective and responding very quickly, summarize what the other person has to say. So you have your argument. I'll repeat what you say. That doesn't mean that I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I'm just acknowledging that I've heard what you have to say. And so that de-escalates the situation if the person feels acknowledged. And I think people are fearful of doing it because they don't want to have the sense that they're actually agreeing with the other person. Yeah. But it's a very good technique to be respectful in the dialogue and to demonstrate that you're really listening to what the other person's perspective is.
Because sometimes it's hard to get past that preconceived notion that we all have in our minds.
Exactly.
To actually listen to a perspective from someone else.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just a matter of right or wrong. Everyone has their own perspective. Listen to what the other person's saying, and then state your own perspective, and then they're going to be in a much better position to listen to what you have to say as well. And then together you can begin to figure out solutions to some of these most challenging issues that we're all facing today with Trump and the political situation.
Well, I have a feeling your phone is going to be ringing tonight.
I absolutely think so.
Thank you so much. With the National Conflict conflict resolution group. And practice what you preach, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to take it home tonight.
Go home and be cool.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best.
You're the man. Thanks a lot for coming in.
My pleasure.
Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, thank you. Happy holidays.
You got it.